Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 3 a.m. tapes. Today's story is about a cave diver who went down alone, chasing solitude, and found something waiting for him in the dark. If you ever feel the urge to explore where no one's been before, remember this story before you go under. Cave diving wasn't supposed to feel like dying. That's what I told myself as I stood at the edge of the sinkhole, the morning air cold against my wetsuit, the water below still and dark as spilled ink. I'd done plenty of dives before. Reef systems, wrecks, even a few cave entries. But this one was different. There was no one else here. No buddy to check my gear, no instructor. Just me, the sound of my own breathing, and a small entry slit in the limestone that looked like it wanted to swallow me whole. I told people I was doing it to push my limits. Truth is, I just wanted quiet. Life on the surface had started to feel loud. Notifications, expectations, people asking me what's next. Down here, there would be none of that. Just me and the silence. The first few meters were peaceful. My flashlight carved clean paths through suspended particles. My fins barely stirred the silt. Every breath echoed in my skull. Long inhale, slow exhale, like the rhythm of something alive. At 10 meters, the light from above vanished. The world turned into gradients of black and gray. I could see the rock walls close around me, jagged like ribs. I checked my gauge, took another breath, and pressed forward. The passage narrowed, forcing me to twist sideways. My tank scraped limestone, leaving white scars on the rock. I didn't like how tight it was. The way the water pressed against my shoulders, the way the silt clouded up and blinded me whenever I moved too fast. Then I noticed something. The beam from my torch caught marks on the wall. Not erosion, not coral growths, but scratches, parallel lines. Some shallow, some deep, like fingernails dragged in panic. I brushed them with my glove. The grooves were recent. I exhaled slowly, bubbles brushing my mask. I told myself maybe another diver had been here first, but the records said no one had mapped this far. A sudden vibration passed through the water, faint, rhythmic, like a heartbeat pulsing through the cave. I turned off my light to listen, but all I heard was my own breath and the slow tick of my pressure gauge. When I turned the torch back on, the silt had settled, and the scratches looked deeper. There's a strange kind of silence underwater, not the absence of sound, but the distortion of it. Every movement, every click of a gauge, every bubble feels like it's happening inside your head. That's why, when I first heard the whisper, I thought it was my own mind leaking into the noise. It came from behind me, faint, stretched thin by water. Just one word, my name, Josh. I froze. The sound vibrated against my skull, like it was coming through the regulator itself. I turned, sweeping the torch behind me. Nothing. Just my trail of disturbed silt and the narrow passage I'd entered through. Probably my radio, I told myself, though I knew it wasn't on. I'd switched it off when I descended. No signal down here anyway. I swam forward, trying to focus on my breathing. But the air hissed irregularly now, like it didn't want to come through the tank. My chest tightened. My heartbeat was too fast. Panic in a cave is a death sentence, so I forced my breaths to slow. In, out, in, out. Then I saw it. A glove drifting through the dark, fingers curled slightly, the wrist torn. I reached out, thinking maybe someone had dropped it, but when I touched it, the wrist joint bent the wrong way. My stomach lurched. I backed off, shining my light away, only to see something else.
My own glove. The exact same make, same tear, floating just a few feet ahead. That's when I realized it was my glove. Mine. I looked down. Both my hands were gloved, but the one in front of me matched perfectly, like a reflection. The whisper came again, closer this time. "Don't leave." My light flickered. The cave trembled, or maybe it was me shaking. The walls seemed to breathe, pulsing in and out as though the entire place was alive. I turned to retreat, but the way I'd come was gone. The tunnel had collapsed. No, not collapsed, just wasn't there anymore. It was a flat wall of limestone, smooth, unbroken. Something moved in the corner of my light. Not a person, just a ripple, a distortion, like the water itself was forming a figure. I blinked hard, and it was gone. Then I felt it, a hand on my shoulder.
I don't remember swimming. I just remember bursting upward, my body screaming for air, clawing through the blackness until I broke through into open water, or what looked like it. At first, I thought I'd surfaced. My regulator popped free, and I gulped a mouthful of something. It wasn't air. It was thick, metallic, almost oily. The light around me wasn't sunlight either. It shimmered wrong, like it came from below instead of above. I floated there, gasping, trying to make sense of it. My dive computer said I was still 25 meters down. Impossible. I looked up and saw the surface suspended above me like a mirror. My bubbles rose halfway, then froze in place, hanging motionless in the water. I started to panic again. I needed to get out. I kicked toward that false surface, reaching for it. But when my hand broke through, I didn't feel air. I felt fingers, cold, slick, gripping mine. I yanked back, but something held on. The light shifted, and for a split second, I saw faces in the mirror. Divers, dozens of them, all watching me. But their masks were filled with water, their eyes wide and still. One of them looked just like me. I screamed, but the sound stayed trapped in my mask. I ripped it off, lungs burning, bubbles freezing mid-rise. The reflection stared back, my double, mouthing something silently. "Stay." I don't remember what happened next. I woke up on the shore, hours later, mask gone, tank empty, my dive light cracked in half. The local rescue team said there was no record of my descent, no tracking beacon, nothing on sonar. But sometimes, when I close my eyes, I still hear bubbles rising and stopping midway. And when I dream, I see the reflection. It smiles before I do.